Hi guys. It has been a while since I have made a video, and I just felt called to kind of share our journey, what's been going on with us lately, for awareness, just to get it out there, it is kind of a thing that I'll be doing more regularly. So I'm trying to stick to it as best I can. Life gets in the way sometimes, and you get really busy. So I just felt called to start these up again. What's been going on with us? It's spring, almost summer, and it's beautiful out, and I can really appreciate it because the sun is back out and it brings me back to life and nature. And Scarlett can too. It's just winter sucks. I'm not a winter person. I'm not a fan. And summer just it just feels magical. We took a family trip, me, Scarlett, and Aaron, to Branson recently, and it was a great time. We always like going to Branson because it's not too far away. The drive isn't too bad, and there's so much to do there. I mean, like you could literally go there. I've probably gone there 10 times in my entire life, and I have not done everything there. So there's lots to do, lots of fun. I love the hills, being that close to Arkansas too. And, people there are usually really friendly, and they're patriots and God loving. And it's always a good time. Um, we saw a lot of animals. We went to two different animal adventure parks. We were probably there for 9 or 10 days, something like that. Scarlett only had two seizures the entire time, and coincidentally or not, she had both seizures at animal parks. What was interesting about it was that when she had them, the animals around, it was both times it was when we were outside because both of these animal parks had inside and outside areas. Both times it was when we were outside and it wasn't too hot or cold. It wasn't that, sometimes there's not much rhyme or reason, right? But we noticed, both of us noticed, like afterwards, the animals in the area were just staring. And it was almost as if they were holding space for her. It was really beautiful. And let's see, yeah, the first one, it was like a donkey, I think, and some capybaras and stuff in the area. There was some other animals. I can't think of what they were right now. And they were just like they were right up to right up to the fence, just kind of looking at her. And then the second time at the other animal adventure park, it was wolves. We were right by, we had just got done looking at a white wolf, and there were other wolves in the enclosure. And one kept pacing because it was kind of up high, and one kept pacing up by her. It was really interesting. I mean, wolves are majestic, right? That's my kitten. We got a new kitten. Her name's Minerva, and she comes out of my room when the dog is outside. That's when she explores the house because her and the big dog they're not copacetic yet. So wait, get a little bit bigger and stuff. Um, yeah, anyway, so the second seizure, we were around a bunch of wolves and kangaroo and some big cats. And yeah, they were paying attention. It was really interesting. At the first one, she scraped up her face a little bit, and I felt really bad for her. She fell on the concrete. Luckily, and both times she didn't get seriously injured. Um, when we went and took old time family photos, the lady was kind enough to kind of airbrush, because she had a scrape right here on her nose. Um, so we didn't have that in our pictures, so that was really nice. Anytime we go to, animal adventure parks or anywhere with a lot of walking, we bring a wagon, a fold up wagon, because, she's a good 90 pounds now. So, I can't carry her, a mile out to a parking lot. It just hurts my back too much. And it's strenuous for Erin too. So we put her in that. When she starts coming to, she helps us, we get her in there and then we take her to the car. So that's been really helpful. Maybe eventually we'll have to do a wheelchair or something. We're just kind of along for this ride and doing what works for us. It's a lot of trial and error and figuring things out. So that's just part of it. Um, but we did go to all kinds of other places, and she had a blast. We went to the butterfly house, and they gave you little flowers with nectar, and the butterflies would come actually on it. And she got to hold a blue morpho, which is her favorite. Like all of her favorite animals are from South America: the jaguar, the sloth, blue morpho butterfly. Um, I don't know why I'm blanking, but almost all of her favorite animals you can find in South America, which is really interesting. I mean, she likes the show Diego and stuff, but she just really resonates with that area. Oh, the scarlet macaw, obviously, that's her favorite, her name. Um, we did a bunch of other stuff. I can't even think right now, but we had lots of fun I got the kitten on top of me. We had lots of fun at our cabin. This is Minerva. She's our sweet little new baby, and she's a rascal. Um, we stayed at a beautiful cabin in Blue Eye, Missouri, and it was surrounded by these giant pines, these tall pines. I actually got lost in the woods, which I don't normally get lost in the woods. I wasn't lost, but I just couldn't find our cabin. So I had to walk farther down or whatever. But it was really beautiful. Anytime we go on vacation, we have to be really aware of our surroundings. If our location has a pool, if we have balconies, anything like that. Scarlett, she's a little bit aware, but she's forgetful and she has no fear sometimes. So she's prone to accidents. Sometimes. So we have to have really strict rules with certain things, and we have to watch like hawks. There's no other way around it. It's kind of like the elopement thing a little bit, but she's not too bad. But we just, we have to stay on our guard, with certain situations. And this place did have like a really large balcony that was over like the kitchen and stuff like that, where somebody could fall. When we went to Florida, we had a pool one time. And when we went to Florida a time previously, we were right on the ocean. So, we can't check out. We have to be there. We have to be, present at all times, basically. Another thing that we ran into when we were at the cabin is Scarlett got stung by a yellow jacket. She thought it was just a bee, and she wanted to hold it and play with it because mommy holds bees. They come to me, they land on me, and I'm not afraid of them. She knows that they can sting, but she doesn't really know the difference between all of them. Um, Unfortunately, this one stung her and it swelled up pretty good. We didn't have to take her to the ER or anything like that. She didn't have like a serious reaction, but the next day she was not feeling well. She wasn't running a fever, but she had, pretty bad body aches. And it was painful and stuff. So, we did give her some pain reliever, and put cold ice packs on it and things like that. I feel like some Benadryl too, which we normally don't do those, but if we got to, we got to. So we did. What else did I want to speak about? I was going to tell you about our new kitten Minerva, which you just met. Oh, Aaron had an issue the other day that it's interesting when him and her go out because they face certain things that I don't always. Me and Scarlett are both girls, obviously, so we go to the same bathroom. Sometimes Scarlett has to go to the bathroom when she's out with her dad. Well, obviously, family restrooms are going to work best in these circumstances, but they're not always available. Sometimes it's an emergency, and she has to go. So Aaron he has to make a decision, and he's not going to go into a woman's restroom. He's a full-grown man. So he'll take her into the men's, but he makes sure that nobody's in there, or he'll lock the door. One time he had a guy that just came out. Actually, he was outside the restroom, like making sure no one went in there while Aaron, was in there with Scarlett while she did her business. She can do mostly everything by herself, but at the same time, like if she was to have a seizure, how would you know if he sent her into the women's restroom? I mean, like someone would probably eventually come out, but like it's just part of the it's just part of the it's part of the job. So um we got us a little pool. Aaron's dad and stepmom gave it to us. We had one a couple years ago too. It's not a giant one. It's one of those like, little temporary ones. Like, I don't know how tall it is, like 3.5 feet or something like that. But it's perfect for us. We don't want to do, I don't want to commit to a full-time pool, even though I love them. In the winter it would just sit there and whatever. Not to mention it's a lot more water to deal with her. She used to get too, she used to get too hot. Um, and that was a trigger. And I'm not saying that it's not one now, but I've noticed that she is definitely more able to be in warmer environments. I wouldn't, say a 100-degree environment or anything like that. We would definitely use a cooling vest, but like it's when something is extreme, when it goes from she's at a normal baseline temperature to really cold. Like most people's bodies can adjust really quickly or to really hot. Her autonomic nervous system, it triggers a seizure. So now it's a lot of times it's more that she gets too cold too quickly. So we have had a couple seizures in the pool out here. I'm with her at all times. There's not ever any kind of um, danger of her actually having the seizure in the pool because I'm there the entire time. What we've run into is that it's an issue getting her out of the pool. Now that she's heavier, it's not like carrying a 90-pound child when they're asleep, because when a child is asleep, obviously they're going to move to you a little bit. After someone has a seizure, they are dead weight. They're completely unconscious. Their body is completely limp. They are dead weight. So carrying that without harming her or yourself takes some getting used to. One time the neighbor was outside. Our neighbor, we have wonderful neighbors. He was outside doing some lawn work, and I was able to get his attention. And even though he has had back surgery, God bless him, I'm getting emotional. He jumped the fence and he helped me get her out, which I didn't need that much help. I just needed a little guidance um, to get her out. And I promised I was not going to cry, but it happens, right? Um, what else? Oh, and then, after that incident was like, I told Aaron, I was like, well, we'll just swim when you're here. You can be outside, you know, and that's just what we're going to have to do. So you can help me get her out. We tried getting a blow up thing, which she can get in it like a little inner tube or whatever, but I still don't think, like, Aaron and I thought that like maybe I could lift her and put her in it and then get out and then get her out, but that's still a little hard too. So we're still working on it. I might maybe put a chair in there. We were thinking about getting a pool heater, like a small one for, because it's not a large pool. But, now that it's getting even warmer outside, it's going to be summer. I don't think it's an issue. We took her swimming. I took her swimming just yesterday and she did just fine. Like I have to let her get acclimated to the water. She wants to jump right in. And I don't let her because it's a shock to her system. I let her get her feet and her legs wet first and then, go up to her knees and then I'll, let portions of her body, and she seems to do best that way. And then we swam for 2.5 hours yesterday and got some sunshine and it was beautiful. We had a really good time, so I was grateful. I'm really grateful for the good days. All days are good days. I'm grateful for every day, even the seizure days. um but it's hard. It can be really hard, so um but we figure it out. um Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I'm not going to be on here for too long. I just kind of wanted to give a little brief update. We're still working on the website. It is a work in progress. Uh, we're looking forward to it. and that's that. We're still working on it. Um, I kind of got like a little message, like since we had weaned two meds, Scarlett's only on one now. We've weaned two meds in the past year. Um, Basically the message that I got was that her body needs to acclimate to not having, especially the second one. The first one I don't think was doing too much of anything, good or bad. It was just, well, probably bad because it would go along with the other one. Like the combination of the two could cause liver issues. So, but the second one, I think had a little bit more seizure control, but she was on a very low dose, there towards the end. Um, but what the message that I got was basically like, let her body get used to not having that as a buffer anymore, a buffer between her and temperature differences, just the world. She's a very sensitive child. She's sensitive to energies. She's sensitive. Hey, Scarlett, let me finish my video and then I'll come talk to you. Don't come over here right now. Come on. I know you want to go roller skate, but I asked you to give mommy her time. Anyway, so um what was I talking about? Oh, I'm supposed to let her basically get used to not having that as a buffer. And we're still doing the acupuncture. We're not doing it weekly anymore just because it was kind of hard, just with our schedules and everything going on. It was just too much. She actually had a seizure at the acupuncturist office the last time. It wasn't after acupuncture, it was before acupuncture. So her acupuncturist actually got to see, kind of what we live with, how her body, how fast a seizure comes on, how fast she responds, to us, and how she comes out of it and everything like that. She kind of got to see it firsthand, which in all honesty, I feel like gives her more information, you know, for when she's practicing and doing, what it is that she does. So, um, when she has seizures, she has tonic-clonics. So that would be a grand mal. She has, giant movements, big movements. Sometimes she pulls her own hair. She can bite her tongue and fall and things of that nature. Normally they last for 2 minutes tops. A lot of times she will come out. Now, this is how they present themselves. She'll come out and then be out for maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 seconds. And then she has another one. It's kind of like a cluster, but I don't consider it a new seizure. I feel like it's still part of the first one. Um, and it's for like 20 seconds. So it's like 2 minutes. She comes out. She has another one for like 20 seconds, and then she's done. That's just what they look like now. So, we have to be really careful with her, on monkey bars and swings and all of that. Like, um, basically, I have to give it to God and have faith in the universe, and also be um, cautious at the same time. It's a conjunction of the two, because if I go too extreme with, micromanaging and the control, then it's not good for anybody. Yeah, it's not good it's just not a good environment. You know what I mean? Like nobody feels at ease. Um, and it's too controlling, and it's just too much. It's not good for my mental health. It's not good for any of our mental health. Like, we have to learn how to let go and breathe, right? And at the same time, if you get too lax and you're not paying attention, um, I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine a 1980s parent, my parents parenting my child, the way I was parented. um, anyway, all I'm saying is that, like, if she's on the playground equipment, like, I have to be there right with her. I have to be paying attention and stuff, so she doesn't get hurt. Um, back in the day, you could just send your kid out and let your kid, go explore the neighborhood with certain ground rules. Don't leave this section, or, whatever. We did whatever anyway. Our parents hardly ever knew where we. So, But yeah, it's a lot different when you have a child that has, that's medically fragile and stuff. And, she feels it at times, and we do too. And it's tricky. We don't have respite. We don't have a bunch of support. She doesn't go to school, traditional public school. I school her here in different ways. And, she helps the family, and she gets her physical fitness outside or roller skating or swimming. Things just are, we do things differently. I mean, we do have two babysitters that, watch Scarlett occasionally, my father and his mother, which we're very grateful for. We're very thankful that they, do this, because it's not easy, and we know that they're getting older and stuff like that. So, but we are grateful when they can, keep an eye on her from time to time. And they love her. They love connecting with her and doing stuff with her. So it's beautiful. Um, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that, like our lives are completely different. Like um, we can't check out, like with my other kids, I was divorced from their father. So, when things were on the up and up, which they weren't always, but when they were on the up and up, he would take them every other weekend or whatever, so I would have that break, or my father would watch them, or they would go, my daughter had friends and she would go to her friend's house and stuff like that. So, and they went to public school. So I was able to do the grocery shopping, or, the cooking or exercise, have me time, clean the house, like do all those things. Like with Scarlett, it's all inclusive. All of it is here. We do it together. I tell her I need some space, Um, it's an interesting concept, but we're figuring it out. And honestly, it's what works best for us right now. So, um, oh, I was going to talk about relationship struggles. Like it's really easy for me to see how a lot of couples that have kids, not just with Dravet, but autism, medical issues, seizures, disabilities, things that make it traditionally not as easy for them to, live a full thrive life. Um, I can see how it's difficult, for couples. Like we're in this for the long haul, but I can see how easy it would be for parents to check out because it's really hard. Um, and if it's not me given, my 100%, then it's Aaron. And sometimes we have to take turns. Do you know what I mean? Like, um, I might have, done this, and this, and took care of her one day. And then I'm like, I gotta go, tell them I gotta go. I gotta go take a walk in the woods. I gotta go, calm my nervous system. I gotta go, touch some trees and play in the creek, or, whatever, I mean, even errands can be a break, because you're out by yourself in your own energy, getting stuff done, listening to your music in the car. I love to go driving around and stuff. So, um, and Aaron has his own stuff. Um, and then there's lots of times when we come together, we play Mario Kart, we play lots of board games. We will we'll all do some chores around the house, and Scarlett will help because she really appreciates it. We've got three animals to take care of, that we love dearly. And so, we just make it work. But it's definitely easy for me to see how it would be really hard for people in relationships and marriages and stuff like that. And that's why, I think it's important for us to build this community. I really do. So we can give support to others. And so we can talk with one another about the difficulties, stuff that other people they wouldn't have any idea that it's things that you deal with on a daily, because their lives are more normal. What is normal? I don't know, but you know what I mean. I mean, everyone has things in their lives, but this is something that not everybody has. So, um, Yeah, and I like to come on here and make these videos for awareness, for inspiration. If anyone, like, and by inspiration, I mean like inspiration to speak up about the things that are important to you, inspiration or empowerment to keep going through the difficult things. The world is wonky. The world just keeps getting more wonky, right? And we have to find our center. We have to really ground and let go of the things that aren't important to us. Focus on the things that are most important to us, whether that's our family or our career. It can be multiple things, don't get me wrong, but like sometimes we get pulled in so many different directions that um, it's more harmful than helpful, right? I think what's best for us right now is self-care. You cannot, I don't care. You can't pour from an empty cup. You just cannot. You can try. It wasn't until I started like really, really focusing on self-care and what was going on inside of my own head and my own heart that I was able to be like, oh, not to be a bitch to anybody out there, but I can't handle all your problems. I can't hold all your stuff. I can't fix all your things for you. I can still have empathy for you and hold space when I can. I just can't do everything for everybody anymore. My hands are full, my plate is full, and it's full of miracles and blessings, but hardships as well, So I think that's really important. It's important for us to um give energy to our healthy relationships, the people that inspire us, the people that we love. And sometimes that means, tough love too. Sometimes that means telling them no. Boundaries is part of love. You can't let someone walk all over you. Um, that's just a truth. Um, our animals, our animal care, they're so beautiful. Animals out in nature, they're here to bring us joy and give us love, and they're so funny and cute, and you got to love the animals. And nature is always a blessing, getting out in nature, not being stuck inside all the time. I know everyone has different, health stuff going on sometimes. But even some of the worst health stuff, even if you just go outside and sit in the grass or sit under a tree or get you some sunshine, take a walk. You can't even imagine the benefits of that. Like, it was a natural thing years ago. And then, with all the internets and AIs and movies and TVs, and I know that was a thing back then, but it wasn't like I feel like television and stuff was like secondary to playing outside and riding your bike. And Scarlett, give me a few more minutes, okay? Let's be patient, and then I'll let you roller skate. Oh, okay, thank you. Um, yeah. So anyway, swimming in the pool for day. When I was a kid, I'd go to my cousin's house and we would just swim all day. We'd go inside, eat a sandwich and play some Nintendo or watch a movie and then go back outside and swim all day long. Like it was just amazing. So I hope that we get back there. One of these days, I hope that we get back there. And, I don't think AI is going anywhere and it can come along for the ride. But, you know, yeah, just all the outside things. It's just fun. Um, yeah, and then just, movement, walk, dance, getting some movement, exercise, conscious movement, not just, you work a construction job and you're forced to move your body in a certain way. Like I feel like we all need to move our body in a way that we feel we need to. Like if you're feeling angry and you want to punch something, do it. Just make sure it's not another person, go punch you a yoga ball or a pillow or something like that. Do use some like Taibo or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it really helps. It definitely helps me for sure. Like 100%. Yeah, I just put on some fiery music and get going. So, eating healthy foods, making choices that are good for your body, staying away from, drugs and things of that nature, alcohol as best as you can. It doesn't contribute to your overall health, basically, is what it is. So, when you don't do the things that are healthy for you, right? So I think we're all on a journey to kind of get back there. So, relationship with creator is very important. Like, I don't know how you can even be going along right now without some sort of relationship with creator. It's very important, um, just to hold you down and release what's no longer serving you, and to pray and give blessings to, the people in your life for their souls, and just meditating and praying over your own life and your family, and giving thanks, not just praying every time you have an issue or a fear, but literally giving thanks for all the things that you do have, your breath, clean water, whatever it is, a yard, a home, a family member that's always there for you, or an animal that you know you can snuggle up with and that you feel safe with, or your favorite music. I mean, whatever it is, like, life is beautiful. We just have to remember. And then I guess my last thing is, just letting go of stress as much as you can. You can't control everything. Um, Taking all those negative thoughts that might come into your head from time to time and just, nope, ain't got time for it. Nope, ain't got time for it. Nope, that's not mine. Nope. Do you know what I mean? And I genuinely think that that helps, because I think ultimately we all want to live positive positive lives. We want to do the best we can, and we want to live positive lives for us and for the people around us and our children, our future generations. Like, that's what we really want. And so, it takes effort and work, and um you know I don't think anything good comes easily. Not necessarily. I mean, I guess it can, you know you can manifest things, and you can bring good things towards you, but you have to be right in here and here. So, letting go of the stress and the negative thought patterns and things of that nature, and finding your resilience and remembering who you are. No, Scarlett, I said wait, please. And you know getting in touch with your creative side is important too. I think that, whenever you create art or do puzzles or do something that you can focus on, that can be really helpful too. So anyway, I hope that you all have a beautiful, what is today? Sunday. I can't even keep up with the days anymore. I hope you all have a beautiful Sunday. I'm going to let this little girl roller skate because she wants to. So, and I promised her. So, have a great Sunday. Love y'all. Take care.